Today, my guest is Michelle Mack, and I am super excited to have you here. Today, we are talking about connection in the remote workforce, but I am going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do.
Yeah, my name is Michelle Mack, and I am an e-commerce expert and a product developer. And I kind of stumbled into this. My background is e-commerce. I worked for a startup that does e-commerce analytics. And when the pandemic hit and I had my son, I was just returning to maternity leave, kind of wanted more flexibility for me and my son. So, and because of COVID, there was just a lot of childcare concerns. So I kind of created a product to sell on Amazon. It's my first product that I've launched pretty successfully. It's a baby whiteboard to help parents and caregivers to coordinate with baby routine and helping with the baby.
Yes, and I have seen it, and it is amazing. I wish I had something like that when my kids were younger. Yeah. It's crazy that no one had invented it until you invented it. That's
I was really, really shocked too. I mean, when we were at the hospital, the nurses drew like a chart on a whiteboard, and I felt that that was really helpful. And when I went home, I tried to look on Amazon, and all I could find is paper journal apps, and then there's, paper journals, and then there's apps as well. And I tried probably 5 apps, and it coming from data and coming from e-commerce, it's really funny because I just felt like it was just so much work. There was no automation. You had to punch it in every single time, and it was just too much. And then on top of that, my mom's not tech savvy, so she comes over to help. Paper journals wasn't attractive to me because I probably would lose it. It's hard to share. You have to probably spend so long to find one. So there wasn't anything like that, and I decided to make it because it was so helpful for my family. I thought it would be helpful for others.
oh, and it is because it is actually quite successful.
Thank you.
Yes, you are very welcome. And remind me what the name is of your product.
Yes, it's the Mewl Baby Whiteboard, Mewl. And we also have a twin version.
Okay, and where did that name come from?
Oh, so this is a really funny story, Kathy. So I had the idea, and from the back of my mind, like, what should I call this? What should my brand be, and what should it be about? So my husband and I was watching Netflix documentaries, Babies. So it's all about like the progress and the growth of the baby. And we usually turn on the subtitles. And when the baby was crying, the subtitle says mewling. And I thought that was a really cute word. I looked it up, and it means like a baby's crying whimper. It started with the M. I looked it up to see if it was available for the domain as well as trademark, and it was. So it kind of fell into place as well.
No, that's awesome. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Yeah.
It was totally meant to be. So you told me that you had actually gone from like a business environment to like a solopreneur, correct?
Yes.
And tell me how, because a lot of times being an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, it gets lonely. It gets lonely. I mean, granted, you have your little kids, so that's awesome. That's awesome. But tell me and the audience, what do you do to combat that loneliness? And what would you advise people that are solopreneurs or entrepreneurs to help out with that?
It is very lonely. I mean, I try to talk to my husband as much as I can, but the problem is he's not my demographic, right? He can only hear me, so it's more like me venting than getting responses back and good feedback. So I joined a tons of mom groups, and coincidentally, I found Ali Wolf, and she has a podcast. And so we were in the same industry. We kind of met online. We never met in person. And we just liked each other's content, and we decided to just kind of chat a little bit just to catch up what it's like to be a mompreneur. And I found her so helpful because now I'm talking to a person that is my customer. I am getting that kind of feedback, and she's kind of going the same journey as me. She's a new mom starting out her business during COVID. So we actually chat quite a bit. We call each other every single week to kind of give a rundown of what we're doing. And even though she's not in the same space as me, she doesn't sell a product, she has a podcast, we're able to kind of give each other feedback, vent a little bit, and actually help each other out as far as like tips, advice. Like I've learned so much from her from social media because I'm just not good at it. And then in return, I give her feedback on, what I liked about her episode and any kind of thoughts that she has as well. So it's a very good two-way street to help me be accountable, and then also have a cheerleader on my side to kind of keep me motivated, because there is those ebbs and flows of the business, and a lot of self-doubt as a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think we all go through it as well. But did you I think I heard you say mompreneur. Is that what you called yourself? Because
I sometimes call myself a mompreneur, but then at the same time, I also feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I just like to be in the mom business. So that's why I kind of have that term. But at the same time, I think whenever anybody asks me what I do, I always just say that I create products for moms.
Oh, that's awesome. So I love the term mompreneur, and because honestly, when we're all moms, we are kind of in a business of running our family.
Well, I think the difference of a entrepreneur and a mom entrepreneur is how much we have on our plate. An entrepreneur can be 15 years old, 20 years old with no kids, and kind of devote like 60 hours a week to their business, right? Where a entrepreneur has to juggle not only the household and the kids and schedules, but also running a business. So I find that a entrepreneur has more challenges to overcome, and it makes me feel more empowered that I can do it as a woman and as a mother.
Yeah. So, and you can do it. Yeah. So, oh, that's awesome. So it seems like you do love what you're doing, or you wouldn't keep doing it. And have you seen any roadblocks, any challenges along the way? And what have you done to overcome those challenges?
Yeah, kind of going back to previously when I did, when I was at a startup or I tried to create another tech startup, you always want to hire somebody that's an expert, or at least work with somebody that's an expert. And what I've learned is I can't do it all. I'm not an expert in all. I mentioned that I'm not good at social media. I'm not the most creative person, but when it comes to strategy and when it comes to analytics, like I feel really confident in my skill. So the best thing I found in the difference is you don't have coworkers to kind of head up those departments of marketing and then like strategy and business development. You're kind of doing that on your own. But what I found is if I'm not confident doing that on my own, I need to hire it out. So I've utilized services like Fiverr and Upwork to find freelancers that can help me with graphics, that can help me with writing up a product description, things that I can devote time to, but it's not the best use of my time, because even if I did spend weeks trying to be a master at it, I will never ever do as good of a job as like a freelancer that I found on Fiverr. So there's ways to kind of really think about how you utilize your time and how you value your time and what you want to devote your time to.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. One of my mentors, John Asseroff, he says, if you are not good at something, hire somebody that basically they play at what you're not good at. And because we're all different, we all have our different strengths. And so, yeah, so it barter, trade, whatever you need to do to get that other task done. So I do love that. I love Fiverr. I love Upwork. And great tips for the viewers. Awesome. Awesome. And you did say that you have a website and you also have your product on Amazon, correct?
I have a website, but it's mainly a landing page. It's a landing page for customers to really know that, hey, this is actually a real brand and there's a mom that's behind it to create these products for you. And it's a way for customers to really feel validated that it's actually a real product made here by a mom.
And do you make it yourself, or somebody makes it for you?
So I design it, and then I find a manufacturer to manufacture products, and then I manage all the logistics to send it over to Amazon.
Okay, so that's awesome. So you could actually do a class on how to create a product and put it on Amazon.
It's funny you mentioned that, Kathy, because today I'm actually, right now I'm actually working on my second product. It is a travel organizer for toddlers and for moms to use. I didn't really like what's out there, and so I am designing it now, and I'm using social media to actually get market research. And it's really fun for customers and my friends to kind of participate in that. So I would say, hey, what print would you like on this bag? You know, A, B, and C. So it does a couple of things. One is I get valuable market research from customers, and then customers can actually see the process of how a product is developing, what goes behind it, and actually feel like they're part of it. So when it does launch, then there's this whole journey of the product development. And once it launches, I already created all that buzz for the launch. So that's something that I learned because I didn't do that for the whiteboard. So every single time I do something, I kind of want to look back on what I did in the past. What can I do it for more efficient to boost my sales immediately?
Oh, awesome. And then are you on TikTok?
No, I am not good at social media. So I am not on TikTok. I can't figure it out. I feel like I am not in the generation of TikTok, but I know that it's very valuable. So this is where, you know, as my brand develops, is to find influencers on TikTok to kind of partner and collaborate with them.
And the reason I'm asking that is actually because I took a TikTok for Business class today, and they were talking about small business and how to actually show the journey of your product on as you videotape it and then you just post it. But yeah, so that's why I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if she's on TikTok so people can see her journey. But yeah.
I'll get there. I think it's more of me feeling comfortable putting myself out there. I mean, this podcast experience is also very new to me. So I'm kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone to kind of get there. So if I'm not going to do it myself, like hopefully I can collaborate with somebody who can and feel comfortable in front of the camera and speaking about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, oh, and you're doing awesome. You're doing amazing. Yes, for sure. So just a few more questions. Oh, sorry. I got a little cough going on, so I'll edit that part out. But yeah, so how is your husband like super supportive of you being the solopreneur, or would he rather you work, or is that helpful as far as a family unit goes? How does that work?
Yeah, my husband is 100% supportive. I think that, you know, when we first started dating, he's always knew that I had an entrepreneurial spirit. I always wanted to do something on my own, but over the years, you know, it just didn't pan out. And he's been very supportive in this. We have a lot of conversations about what it means and how it affects our family. You know, as far as finances, that's very, very obvious. Like we're definitely taking a hit from me working full time to selling on Amazon because I'm not quite there to eclipse what I made previously. But we also realize, hey, if I am working, a large percentage of my pay will be towards a full-time childcare. Another thing is, you know, we are doing okay right now, and I can have the time to do it right now because I'm with my son, and my son is so young that we don't want to sacrifice, you know, my bonding time with him and having him feel comfortable with going to school and everything like that. So we go to a co-op, and what that means is I participate in teaching days 1 day a week. So, you know, those are my limitations of my time, and we decide to prioritize my son, especially during the times of COVID. It's very hard for him to be in a new environment, meet with new strangers. We couldn't imagine putting a little 2-year-old into a daycare all day all by himself. And I know some kids can and some parents have to, but for us, we felt like we need to balance that. And what that meant is supporting me to build up a business where it allows that flexibility so I can concentrate on the son and prioritize our bonding time.
I love that. So it's always super helpful to have your partner, your spouse, whomever that is, to support you in this journey. Because as we said before, there are challenges. It does get lonely. So anybody out there that can support you, you just keep them close. You just keep them close, right? But and your son is adorable, absolutely adorable. I saw
Thank
you
you.
sent me some pictures with you and him, and oh, absolutely. So is there anything that you would want to tell a new entrepreneur, I can't say that word.
Entrepreneur.
Mompreneur, yeah. Or somebody just getting into this space, this new space, as far as creating a product or whatever it is, creating their dream. What would be some words of advice that you would give them?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people probably don't want to make the jump because of a lot of fear, right? And a lot of anxiety of failure. And from my experience from a lot of startups, there's going to be mistakes. You're not going to get it perfect from day one. And I think that instead of analyzing all the variations and all the outcomes, because that's very overwhelming, is to just do it and to do it in small ways. I think the beauty about today is there's a lot of technology and platforms out there to make it easy for anybody to launch their business online and to compete. So what I mean about that is you have Canva now to do your social media. You have all these YouTube videos to really teach you and guide you the way. So, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and don't be afraid to, make mistakes, because you will learn from them, and some of them will cost you. But at the same time, if you feel like you have the passion and you feel like this is something that you want to do, I think you should just kind of jump in and see where it goes, and be flexible. So for example, sometimes we have a mindset of this is the only way it has to be, and you have to be flexible. You need to plan ahead and know what your goals are. But as you're walking towards it, you're going to have to make decisions that kind of veer you off a little bit. So what I mean about that is, when I was launching this baby product, I thought about, what else can I do? What other products would be complementary? And sometimes I actually did launch a product that didn't do well at all. So then I kind of learned from that. And what I learned from that is I didn't get product market research, right? So I didn't validate the need. And because I didn't do that, it didn't sell because people didn't find that that was a very interesting product, or people are just not searching for it. So that's why with this travel bag, I am doing market research up front and getting people involved to get that excitement and get people's input on what is a good product to sell.
Awesome. So if people want to get a hold of you, what is the best way to get a hold of you? Is it through your website? Is it through Facebook? Or
Yeah, you could definitely shoot me a message on my website, mewlbaby.com, MEWLBABY.com, or find me on Instagram at mewlbaby.com. And I would always love to connect with other moms and other people who want to start their business.
Oh, awesome. I certainly appreciate having you on here. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's been eye-opening. I haven't had a little baby for a while, so I'm excited to actually have grandkids. So I'm hoping that they get on this.
Well, I had a lot of fun, Kathy. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show and having me here to share my story.
Oh, you are very, very welcome. So awesome. So again, everybody out there, to get a hold of Michelle, just look out for her on Instagram. I will have all the links for Michelle and mewlbaby.com. But yes, I will have all the links for you guys, and awesome. So thank you again.